Hello and welcome to this cryptocurrency technical analysis where we are going to be going through the Ethereum chart today. I want to be taking a look at the Ethereum BTC pair and also the Ethereum USD pair. We'll be going through that in today's video. That obviously also correlates to Ethereum USDT. We'll be taking a look at both of those charts today. I want to be going over my perspective on the medium to long term on this coin. So we're talking about a few months into the future, maybe a year, of how I am expecting this coin to trade. So I hope that you really enjoy the analysis. I want to start it in three different parts. I want to go why we originally started this bounce just before Christmas. Then I want to go over the local, how we're really approaching this over the last 24 to 48 hours. And then I want to end with the targets and how I am expecting this to trade over the next few months. So that's the order of proceedings for today's video. So I hope that you thoroughly enjoy. And I recommend once again to take out those notepads. Give me your full attention and you can hopefully learn something in this video of how we approach trading. So let's start here with Ethereum USD, obviously currently consolidating up and around that all-time high. But before we go into what's happening right now with the targets that I am currently trading from, I'd like to go back a step. Let's go back to around Christmas time of why this move really started, because it's crucial to understand why this move started so you can educate yourself and actually push forwards with your future trading. So before we get into the juicy targets that we have right now on Ethereum, let's go back a step to December and have a think to ourselves, why did we get this big move to the upside? And what I'm going to show you here is a few different things. A swing failure pattern. I'm going to show you how we got a fake out of a symmetrical triangle and really how that brought us down to this, this spring. You've probably heard the saying a few times, like we got a spring that really pushed us up heavily to the upside. And it all started with that swing failure pattern spring. So I'd like to show you this post here. This was from the 23rd of December. I was saying I would like Ethereum actually to go down to $575 for a nice swing failure pattern. E.g., this is a really bullish pattern, okay? A swing failure pattern is considered a bullish pattern, and it's exactly what we actually got here. On the 23rd of December, after getting a fake out of the symmetrical triangle, we lost the symmetrical triangle, we back tested the support trend line as resistance, and we came down to the weekly. Okay, that weekly was around $590. This for me was feeling like a really good opportunity. But then what we've done is a swing failure pattern. So it's like a spring that you have a lot of people that are maybe bullish as well on ETH. But you get this final drop to the downside, a big quick drop to the downside, which gets everybody really scared. This is where people will sell their bags, and the bigger traders, let's imagine you're trading with several million. It's hard to fill several million longs on Ethereum while you're in an area of low liquidity. So the way that bigger traders will fill their really big bags is essentially they'll force price down through a high liquidity level where a lot of people are selling in fear. A lot of smaller traders will sell in fear, which equals they can fill a few $1 million plus, obviously. So you need these sort of springs to get rid of the weak hands and basically sell to the people that are looking to fill larger quantities at high liquidity areas. You do that on a swing failure pattern. That's exactly what happened here on the 23rd of December. We really got that spring to the downside to take out those stops. And yeah, this was, for myself anyway, as I was saying, live in the time that was the 23rd of December. As you can see, there's no hindsight in this. That was me straight away filling a bag of Ethereum straight away of over 1,000 Ethereum. That's about 500,000. And I was saying at the time, wow, this for me is a really good Christmas gift. As you can see down here. So basically what we were recognizing is this is a really nice area for a long. Okay, you can see a lot of other people also getting into the same long positions. And basically what we're saying is, well, we have now a very nice entry, a very nice stop loss, which is going to be the low of the wick. And we have a very nice target to the upside. Okay, as we're saying, let's just chill in the ETH long over Christmas. Well, that obviously exceeded all expectations. But I just wanted to highlight that to you, maybe because it was a case of chart champions literally holding up the price of ETH on the 23rd of December, which was the very low. getting those fills literally at $566. We're now over $1,400. But nevertheless, that's how it all started. It really, really was that. It started because of the spring on the 23rd of December, to swing failure pattern the lows. That's where your bigger traders were filling their bags. As you can see, chart champions were filling their bags as we got a lovely move to the upside. Obviously, we made our way up. We hit into this first weekly level. Sorry, I had an alert go off there and I had to manage my trade, but I will use this as an opportunity now to say, if you are enjoying the Ethereum analysis and me looking at some altcoins, you can give a thumbs up to this video right now. Down below, smash up the likes, and that will show me that you are interested in me covering altcoins instead of Bitcoin all the time. If this video is well received with lots of likes, I will continue to give you some altcoin analysis as well. But with that said, back to the Ethereum analysis. We made our way up to this weekly level where we found an area of resistance. Well, it was like we went through a consolidation ultimately of quite a while. After we hit that first weekly, we have been really going relatively sideways for the past month, more or less. And this is what I was saying on my Champions live stream on Sunday, that this really does feel like Bitcoin when it was hit $20,000. You know how Bitcoin hit into $20,000, got a heavy rejection, hit into $20,000 again, got another rejection, and then it's hit into it the third time, and it obviously broke through. Okay, what I want to show you here is Bitcoin and how that exactly is what happened. We go back to $20,000 here. You can see how Bitcoin came up to 20,000, got a heavy rejection, came up into it again, got another rejection the third time, it obviously broke through. Then when I look at the Ethereum pair, it looks very similar to me in the fact that we got, move into a all-time high level, rejection, move into it again, rejection, third time lucky maybe. That's if we're comparing it to Bitcoin, we could say that's likely the case. But we entered into this month-long consolidation period. I could say ultimately it's kind of forming maybe in a ascending triangle currently, some form of ascending triangle here on the chart. But nevertheless, it obviously looks very bullish in my opinion anyway. So that really, that brings us into what we're seeing now. And now what I would like to do is, because of the way that you trade Ethereum USD, it is going to be based off of the Bitcoin pairing. Because if you're expecting Bitcoin to be stronger than ETH, you'd want to hold Bitcoin. But if you're expecting Ethereum to outpace Bitcoin, then you want to hold Ethereum. The only way you can decipher what's stronger is obviously the ETH BTC pair. And I'd like to talk you through really over the last week or so on this pair, because it's so crucial to understanding how Ethereum is going to move. Okay. So this is my thought process over the past week, and it really started from when we had our first breakup here. Okay, and this breakup obviously was happening on around the 25th of January. We're now on the 2nd of February. And we obviously had this first move to the upside, and this is where lots and lots of people start to get really ultra bullish on Ethereum. And my thought process was, I was still waiting for another drop to the downside through the weekly before we get a move to the upside, basically a shakeout. So once again, as you saw how we were buying the lows on Ethereum back at $500, it was buying low after a shakeout. So you shake out the weak hands before a move. And it's the same what I was saying on Ethereum. This was back on the 26th. I'm waiting for another 5% drop to the downside. Do shake out the weak hands before I expect any upside. As I was saying here, too many people are ultra bullish at the highs. So let's get a shakeout before any upside. Well, that patience absolutely played out as I was updating my team on the 29th. After nearly a week, I have now bought Ethereum. So we did get that final shakeout, over 5% move to the downside through the weekly, and I was happy to be buying at this level. Obviously, we can see how that progressed as we had another move after that shakeout of the 5%, a move back up to the move up essentially. I had this very key weekly. This was a very key weekly for me. We entered once again another period of consolidation. And this is where the predictions just are absolutely insane. But I was basically giving another prediction of this. I was looking for another move to the downside to hit the weekly before we got any more upside. Okay, so this was the exact prediction that I was giving at, literally at midnight, almost just past midnight on the 1st of February, so yesterday. I was giving my prediction that I am waiting now for another move to test the weekly before. That's where I'm basically going to compound heavy on this one, because I'm expecting then that to be the final shakeout, but really before a nice move to the upside. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see exactly how that was probably the most perfect prediction you're going to see on Ethereum, literally coming down, hitting that weekly before the move to the upside. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see exactly how that played out as expected, exactly as predicted. We literally hit that weekly, and look at the reaction off of it. That's what you call exactly as predicted. So yeah, that now brings us up to you've seen how we've approached this market. We have approached Ethereum very much so of waiting for the shakeouts before getting any upside. We were waiting for the shakeouts at $500, and then recently we were waiting for the shakeouts of this, where everyone was ultra bullish. The shakeout, by the way, that was from the high to low 20% move. And then the final, in my opinion anyway, another shakeout here of the weekly before another. This is a big move, by the way, and in a day that's nearly 10% move. So now that really brings us up to where we are right now. So obviously we've had a lot of patience on Ethereum. It's been consolidating for a month below resistance. Is this time now to break out, or is there another move to the downside? Well, I am currently positioned long on Ethereum. I must admit I'm pretty bullish on Ethereum. I am expecting the all-time highs to be broken, to be honest with you. A few things I suppose to bear in mind are the Ethereum futures that I believe are now coming out on the 8th. As we all know, when Bitcoin futures came out, we can acknowledge what happened to Bitcoin when those futures came out in December. We all know the results of that. So this is something to bear in mind. The Ethereum futures on the 8th of February, just something to bear in mind. I wouldn't trade off it, but it's just something to bear in mind because we all know what happened with Bitcoin. But nevertheless, I am still bullish on Ethereum. I am expecting the all-time highs to be broken here, which obviously coming in at around $1,480. If we can break that, well, sky really is the limit. Sky really is the limit here. If we come up to, let's just say, like a 4-month chart, we would be through everything really. We would be at all-time highs. We know when Bitcoin broke its all-time highs, we were pushing up over 100% fairly swiftly. So that would obviously bring us up 2,000. I'm not going to give a massive prediction on this because I truly feel that sky's the limit essentially. Okay, so I like to trade all-time high breakouts in the way of saying, okay, let's really not try and predict that high so much and just follow up with the market structure. So we'd be just looking for that trend essentially. We'd be looking for the trend of the higher highs and higher lows. And while we maintain that trend, there's no need to sell. So I wouldn't say 2,000 is my target where I'm going to sell everything, because then we could push on to 4,000 and I've sold too early. Or alternatively, we might only reach 1,800 and then we start to head down and we change the trend, and then I'd obviously get out. So it's that the way that I trade all-time highs is not really trying to predict the high, it's just following the trend until the trend is no longer your friend. But yeah, I believe that the Ethereum is looking nice for all-time high breakout, but I must stress I am basing my trade off the Ethereum BTC pair. So I'm not actually basing my trades off ETHUSD. That's the really important thing that you need to acknowledge the way that I trade. I'm totally basing my trade here off of I want to hide this because I don't want to give this away to everyone. But yeah, the way that I'm basing my trade is it's actually off of the Bitcoin, for the Bitcoin pair here. And I truly believe that you can be seeing a move to at least around 0.06 sats, potentially even up at that, 0.1, 0.9 sats. That's obviously in terms of percentage here, about 50% to 120-ish%. And so I am personally, I am much more bullish on the ETH BTC pair than I am Ethereum USD. So that's just something that I absolutely need to stress. I'm not so bullish on ETH USD, but I am very bullish on ETH BTC, to be totally frank and honest with you. This is the way that I trade altcoins, and I like to view their strength over Bitcoin. And so that is literally the way I approach it. I will not actually refer, when I'm trading, I won't refer to the USD pairs. I will refer to the Bitcoin pairs. Obviously, something to bear in mind is that I do trade this over on Bybit. So I only trade on Bybit. It's the only exchange I trade on. And obviously, they only have Ethereum USDT or Ethereum USD. So I can hold spot Ethereum, obviously, by just converting into ETH, and I'm holding spot Ethereum. So this is what the way that I like to trade it. But yeah, really, on this ETH BTC pair, I'm looking for a good, once again, I'm looking really for a good 40% to maybe 100% gains here. Really, I am. I feel that it has a nice few months ahead of it. So that's really what I'm looking for here. On the ETH/USD pair, obviously, ETH/USD is highly influenced by Bitcoin. So the thing is that you just have to remember, Ethereum BTC can be really bullish and pushing up. But if Bitcoin's really bearish and like heading downwards, then Ethereum USD is going to be affected by that, and it's going to be held down. So that's just something to bear in mind. Okay, that's just something to bear in mind, that I base my trade off of the ETH BTC pairs. But yeah, that's really my perspective. I truly believe the way that we've traded this has been nothing short of absolutely outstanding. To be honest, it really has been a nice way that we've traded this, from originally buying that at $500 to being able to, have the patience to wait for the first dip of 5%, to then wait after this first dip of 5% to wait for the weekly to be tapped once again. Each step of the way we've predicted this absolutely perfectly. And now, if my prediction is to continue, I would be aware of what happens on the 8th, simply because I feel it's a highly influential factor potentially. So be aware of what happens on the 8th. But ultimately, I'm pretty bullish on Ethereum. I am long on Ethereum. I'm expecting upsize. I'm expecting this ETH BTC pair to potentially, I'd say, at least 40% gains, potentially even 100% gains. I'm happy to hold it for, a few months. ETH USD, that's a little bit more up in the air, a little bit more uncertainty, I suppose, around the ETH USD pair. But ETH BTC, I'm bullish off of this chart. I'm expecting 100% gains. Obviously, bear in mind, I'm not going to hold this forever. It's not like I'm hodling it. I am trading this off of a plan. I have an invalidation, e.g. a stop loss. So I do have a stop loss on where I'm wrong on the trade. And I obviously have proper targets. If you want a more in-depth view on Ethereum, where you want to know where that entry, where that stop loss, and where that target is exactly, that's obviously going to be over in the Champions group on, over at chartchampions.com. Where, you can get these live updates. If you wanted to be buying Ethereum at $500, if you wanted to be buying Ethereum at literally the low yesterday for a 10% gain overnight, these are the updates that I give over at chartchampions.com. I want to stress, though, we are not a signals group, although you kind of get signals from me at times. We're not a signals group. We are for the education. So if you want to learn how we mark out our levels, why we enter here, how we get these point of controls, how we get in our weekly, monthly, all of the education behind the trades, that's what we can offer you. Yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this video ever so much. And I'm going to wrap it up here and say, hope you've enjoyed. Let's keep our eyes on Ethereum. I'm personally pretty bullish on it, and we'll see how the next few weeks treat us. So thank you ever so much. Have a brilliant day, and goodbye.